Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What exactly does Jiri change in order to win this time? Surprisingly, not much. It's minor tweaks and taking what was really effective in the first fight and executing that even better in the second. Let's take a deep dive. I feel like people are sleeping on Jiri's overall fight IQ and his ability to read you as the fight progresses. I'm seeing fighters and fans say his only chance to win is to make it ugly, or to not try to fight a technical fight against Pereira. I just don't agree. To me, that diminishes everything that gave him success in their first fight, mainly in the second round. So I'm going to show you the strengths and techniques I think he could use that will give him the victory over Alex Pereira. When we talk about disrupting someone's base, we're talking about putting them in a position where they can't effectively return fire. Think about it this way. If you're off balance and try to throw a punch, but none of your feet are planted, what's going to happen? You're going to miss or throw a weak punch because you have no power behind it. Normally, Pereira is a very smart and disciplined kickboxer who is nearly always in position to strike. However, when his base is off, it's usually because he is moving backwards. This is the key moment to capitalize on. So, how does one disrupt Pereira's base? The most effective ways that Jiri did this in their first fight, in my opinion, were teeps and feints. Jiri's nicely timed teeps were effective in the first fight. These front kicks help keep Pereira off balance and prevent him from setting up his strikes. Now, feints are another powerful tool. By making Pereira react to a fake strike, Jiri can create openings and disrupt Pereira's rhythm and balance. Now, this one isn't necessarily about his base, but if Jiri can find home for a nice jab, this can work as well. As seen in sparring footage in past fights, a nice snapping jab is usually effective on Pereira. Main thing to watch out for though is to not get your head clipped into orbit by a left hook as you're trying to jab. The best way to do this is to be first and not throw a lazy jab. It's got to be a fast snapping one, not necessarily trying to hurt the opponent, but just to disrupt them for that split second. By focusing on these tactics more and understanding when Pereira's base is most vulnerable, Jiri can effectively disrupt his base and limit his offensive capabilities, giving him a better chance at a victory in the rematch. If you notice, Pereira uses his low kick very similar to how a boxer uses his jab. If you're his coach, you never have to ask him to throw it. As soon as he sees an opening, or he wants to put something out there, you see him throw it. 9 times out of 10, when Pereira resets, he's either gonna throw a jab or that signature low kick. And based on their first meeting, the range they fought at usually led to a low kick after the reset. And Jiri caught on to this going into the second round. The key is to disrupt his base or get him to move and reset, wait for the low kick because you know it's coming, counter it with a straight punch right down the middle. Now that we got a couple areas of attack and a way to back Pereira up and disrupting his base, alongside countering the low kick, if all goes somewhat right, Jiri is able to close the distance and get Pereira against the fence. This is the second range Jiri will be most effective at, but only if he keeps 2 things in the forefront of his mind. He absolutely has to use controls, whether it's grabbing Pereira's wrists, hands, or arms. The controls have to be very physical and strong. Do not let him be in a position to attack, which leaves Jiri a chance to work and get off first when he has Pereira against the cage. This is where Jiri does phenomenal work. This is where I can understand what people say he makes it ugly, because he gets you against the cage and he just starts swinging from awkward angles. The second thing he's got to keep in his mind is the most important one, and it's what cost him the fight the last time. Now, this is something I know for a fact Pereira had to drill at least 1,000 times, this exact scenario. In my opinion, it's one of his best counters. It's when you see him plant his feet, roll with your punch, come back with the right hand, and finish with a left hook. It's the perfect trap. You think you have him, backing up, and he's right where you want him. You advance and you throw your shot. Boom. In the end, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to definitely live up to the expectation. I believe it's 50-50, it could go either way. However, I do see Pereira coming out on top just because his power, his reflex, and his quickness to an open shot. However, if Jiri does implement these tactics and what he did in the first fight and just elevate that to a whole new level, I do see Jiri winning by KO. I think the grappling advantage is definitely on Jiri's side. I think he definitely has to take Pereira down at least once or twice. I would say do it as much as you can, but only if you're having success. Keep grappling if you have success with it, but if he's just stuffing all the takedowns and like just pushing you off and you're gassing yourself out, don't do it. But if you can get him down, less good shots, and drain him at the same time, it's completely worth it. I just had to make this video because I feel like people were kind of sleeping on Jiri's IQ and his the tactics he uses, I feel like it's pretty high level stuff. And I feel like it's more than just a wild, wild caveman, samurai, Viking fighting style. I feel like there's more to it than just that. And if he's to win, I think it's going to be because he's utilizing on his IQ and his technique and his unpredictability and using that to his advantage versus just fighting an awkward, quote unquote, ugly fight, if that makes sense. Good luck to both fighters though. I'm sure it's going to be a great fight. I hope you guys like the video as well. This is something different. It's my first ever MMA video, first ever video on YouTube really, so I hope you guys like it, and if you guys want to see more, definitely let me know. Outside of that, I hope y'all have a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoy these fights. Definitely let me know your predictions in the comments below. Peace.